Hello, Michelle. Lovely to. Hello, Michelle. Lovely to have you here.
Hello, dear. Can
Lovely
you
to
hear
have
me?
you here. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Finally, I get to speak with you after all this while.
My goodness, I'm so sorry for all the um it's kind of super busy period for us in the
I,
association, and I
I
was
know you're
traveling.
very busy.
How
I know
are
you're a
you?
very busy lady. I'm very well, thank you. I know you're a very busy lady, and it's an absolute honor to
Thank,
have
thank
you
you.
here. All right, so let's get into it. I know a bit about you, and I know that you're a very accomplished lady. Like I said, you're a soldier, and also a mother because you have these. I would say the members of a community, that's the Afro Association, are like your children, and you're there fighting for their rights and making sure that they are seen and heard. But let the people, that's the community members who don't know much about you, learn about you. So can you just introduce yourself, your background, how you got into fashion, and how you started the Afro Fashion Association?
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank you so much for having me this evening. And I will also like to thank you for your passion because it is super hard to, let's say, work with me. Let's say that I'm Michelle Ngonmo. I'm originally from Cameroon.
Mm.
Um, I have been working, I have learned, let's say, communication at the university and then languages. And I was, let's say, the president of the African of my university. And I think that
Which
was
was sorry, which was in Italy at that time. You went to university in Italy to study
yes,
communications.
yes, yes. I went to school in Italy, and at the university, I was the president of my university. And I think that that experience, let's say, opened me, let's say, this path that I choose to continue because it gave me the chance and the opportunity to see and to meet a lot of Afro descendant students, ex-students here in Italy that
Mm.
were studying, that finished their schools and everything, and they didn't even have, let's say, the chance and the opportunity to access, let's say, an interview. So I was like, oh my God, they are like super invisible to the society, what is going on. And also the traditional media weren't, let's say, reflecting the society we were living in, right? In Italy, I didn't have, let's say, growing up, I didn't have someone who I can relate myself to in the media. So I was like, you know what? Usually we tend to, let's say, ask the seat at the table, right? I was like, why not build a table, our own table at first, and then invite all the other to join us and let's say represent the society that we are living in actually. Otherwise, we will be doing the same thing that they are doing too. So let's say excluding other people. So I decided in that time to found in 2015 the Afro Fashion Association as a
Okay,
platform
so
where
sorry, let me cut you in there. So you started the Afro Association, Afro Fashion Association in 2015, but there was also something that you started in 2008. Was that when you were president of your school, your alma mater?
yes, it was when I was the president of the association, actually, and of the student of the university. Actually, let's say that I have done a lot
Was
of.
it the students? Was it the students of the university or just black students?
Now, I was the student of the university, black student of the university of my town, but with that experience, I was traveling a lot in Italy, meeting other students, black students in Italy.
Hmm.
So I
Okay.
started from with my university and the student of my university, and then I started traveling with around Italy and to meet all the other students and to say, let's say, to found something with all the students in Italy.
Amazing, amazing. So you started the Afro Fashion Association in 2015, and apparently that was how you got into activism and all of that. But the thing is, what I found really striking was you said when I read in one of your articles, one of the posts about you, I think it was in Vogue, where you said you were shocked that when you were going around, as president of your association, you found, black people, black students of color who, went to fashion school, had the experience, had the knowledge, but were working as, low paying jobs as cleaners, housekeepers. Can you tell us about a bit about that experience?
Yeah, actually, as I was telling before, um, during my years of the university, I met a lot of students that went to fashion schools. Obviously, it wasn't those expensive fashion schools, right? But it was those public fashion school. And when they finished it, they were doing humble jobs with all due respect, because we need also people to do that, those kind of job, right? But they didn't have the chance. As I was telling you, they were sending a lot of resume around. One of them actually is Claudia Giselle Sama. One day she sent her resume to one company, and they told her, why aren't you going? She was just looking for an internship to conclude her study, right? The company told her, why aren't you going to do your, let's say, internship with Stella Jane, since she's black like you? Or why aren't you going to Cameroon, since you're from Cameroon, to do your internship? And that doesn't make sense, right? It is super rude, but they don't even realize that it is rude to tell those kind of things to someone who is studying actually within the system, and think that they belong, they are part of the system, but then they receive those kind of, let's say, response. So it was
But
kind of
sorry,
shocking.
I want to ask you a question. Now, you said something about, okay, fine, they didn't go to expensive fashion schools. Was that the reason why they were, being rejected? Why were they not, being accepted in these places? Did they feel that because the fashion schools were not expensive, the education quality was not high enough? Is that why they were being rejected?
No, I don't think so, because actually, I think the public school are valid as the private school, right? And usually, people within the community can't afford to go to private school. That's why I'm now
Or they're very
trying to
expensive?
struggle and asking for some, let's say, scholarship to access those kind of space too, because it's super important, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the education is valid as well as when you go to the private school. I don't think it was a matter of the school. Do you know what I mean? It was more a matter of when you receive that kind of response, for example, that no, you go there because you're black. It is because maybe the time weren't that mature within the society, and people weren't really understanding what were going on, and were, let's say, struggling to understand that there are also, black Italian within the community, and that they are part of the system. Do you know what I mean? I think that was the first thing. It wasn't about a matter of school or level or private or public. I don't think it was that the problem.
Amazing. So, right, you started the Afro Fashion Association in 2015, but it wasn't until 2020, during the Black Lives Matter movement, that, things really kicked off, and you were able to, collaborate with Stella Jean and Edward Buchanan, and, really create a movement. Can you tell us about this collaboration?
Yes, actually, we were kind of doing these things, like as I was telling, 2015, but we were, like, say, always under seen. We weren't seen or heard. But you when you believe in something, when you really believe in something, you keep, let's say, pushing and working hard, right? Then with the death of, let's say, George Floyd, everyone started posting, the black box and writing hashtag Black Lives Matter and those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, and if you consider that in Italy, the only one black member in the National Chamber of Fashion is just Stella Jean, it is shocking,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So we wrote a
How,
letter.
how, how did she even get there? How was she able to break that glass ceiling and,
I, I,
get
I
there?
will just let her one day to tell you her story, but it
That
is
would be
like
amazing.
super shocking to see that in the whole system, with
Just
the
one
whole
person.
society, with everything going on, there is just one black member within the national chamber, which is
Wow.
part of that, right? So she started because you need to know that we are also doing other struggling here in Italy. We are struggling for the citizenship for all the people born or who grew up here in Italy. So there are too many other things that we are struggling here. And Stella was actually one, I think the one and the only Black designer that accept to go and protest in a public space about and let's say about this kind of cause. And it was like already a strong message. You know what I mean? So we started there, and then when they started with the Black Lives Matter and posting the box and everything, we just sent an a letter to the president of the National Chamber, right? With the question, do Black lives really matter in Italian fashion? And that's when everything really kicked off, and it was the turning point, let's say that. People started, let's say, to feel and to see that we were already having, let's say, Black people already in Italy. Do you know what I mean? Because usually, for example, I will just take an example. Usually in Italy, when they need some professional or some Black professional, they will go to Africa. Do you know why? Because it seems cool, to say, oh, we help them, we give him. It is folkloristic to have a Black from Africa directly. They will go to USA, to London, to Paris, because it is super cool. It is dope to have Black people from there. But actually, we have also Black people in Italy, right? And those Black people are still invisible. So that's why we decided to start, let's say, publicly and go, let's say, in a more strong way, this kind of, let's say, struggle to say, yeah, you know what? It is super good and it's super cool to do whatever, to think about the Black Lives Matter, to do everything that you want. But can we just start from home? Because we are home. And at home, we also have a lot of issues that we need to deal with. So please let's start from home and then we will go public.
Amazing. So I know Stella Jean she came into the limelight when Rihanna wore some of her pieces and, went to the White House. But who is Edward Buchanan? Because I know that he's also, one of your partners.
Oh my God. I think Stella is super great. Like she's my big sister, actually. Obviously, she's a great professional. She's also a mentor to POC Creative here in Milan or in Italy in general. Edward Buchanan, actually, we usually call him Uncle Ed. I call him Uncle Ed. He's one of the
young man, though. He's a young man.
No, he's not young. Like, he's young inside, but he's actually the first Black. He was the creative director of Bottega Veneta 25 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Obviously, the story, he's a little bit cancelled. He has gone through cancel culture, let's say that. But he is great, actually. He's the greatest among all of us. He has all my respect.
Maybe I was looking at the wrong Edward Buchanan, because the guy I saw, because I checked him out on Instagram, the guy I saw was actually a young man.
Yes, he looks young, actually. Uncle Ed is always young. He's super young.
Wow.
It is him. It is the same guy.
He was creative director of Bottega Veneta 25 years ago.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And he's a consultant of too many big brands out there here in Italy. I don't want to tell him his story. Maybe one day I will invite him to have a conversation with you, actually.
That would be amazing.
He is great. Actually, he's the greatest among all of us. He's wow. And he started this thing 25 years ago. So can you imagine what he went through? Like I was, I don't know, seven years when he was already working in the fashion. Do you know what I mean? And he's a wonderful creative, the biggest mentor ever to everyone, to me, to everyone, actually. Edward is Edward. You know what I mean? I call him Uncle Ed.
I get it. I mean, somebody who broke that glass ceiling 25 years ago should be called Uncle Ed. Amazing.
Absolutely.
So tell us about your initiatives. You have two initiatives, that I know of. I'm sure you're doing several other ones. There's the We Are Made in Italy initiative, and then there's the Unseen Profiles within the Afro Fashion Association. So tell us about those.
Okay, yeah, as you said before, we in the association we do a lot of initiative. We do the Afro Fashion Week Milan actually, which is in the same period with the Milan Fashion Week.
So what
We
does that entail? What does the Afro fashion? Sorry to take you off, but
mhm.
what does the Afro fashion Milan entail? Do you showcase
Yes,
the
we
pieces from members
showcase
of your community?
we showcase POC designers, okay,
Okay.
and we also showcase white designer. The focus there is about the Afro culture. So wherever you are from, but you are doing um, your creativity is inspired from the Afro world. You can be part of the Afro Fashion Week Milan,
So you don't
but
have to be black.
you don't have to be black. But 90% of our designers are black.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. So tell us about the We Are Made in. Did I cut you?
Talking about the WAMI, which is We Are Made in Italy, which is the one that I founded with Stella Jean and Ito Bekina, actually. It was, let's say, to address the issue about the way that the fact that the made in Italy is not a question of color, right? Because usually in the mind of people, they think that made in Italy means white people. We were just trying to say that made in Italy is about, let's say, the savoir faire, but it's not about the color because now the made in Italy is super multicultural because the society actually is multicultural. So every fashion week, we present five designers, five emerging designers. We call them the Fab Five Bridge Builders, and they showcase their capsule collection during the Milan Fashion Week. Usually, they open the Milan Fashion Week calendar, and this is it is for the first time ever since 2020. We started it in 2020, September 2030, and they are until now the only uh, POC designer made in Italy present in the Milan official Milan Fashion Week calendar. So let's say we focus more on the multiculturalism within the Italian fashion system with the We Are Made in Italy.
Amazing.
While with the unseen profiles, I think it is our greatest, let's say, job. I can say that we are, of course, we are part of all the projects that we are doing, but the unseen profile is since, as I was telling you, the experience that I lived when I was at the university, seeing all those profiles that weren't seen. That's when I choose the name unseen profiles. So it is, let's say, a kind of database where all the companies can go and ask for um, professional with multicultural background. Because usually when you go and have a dialogue with those company, they will say, oh, we are not able to find those kind of profiles and this and that. So they have no excuse now, right? They have the
Yeah.
database where they can pick the candidate that
Where
they
their
want.
CVs, their resumes, their portfolios are placed.
Exactly
Amazing.
everything.
Amazing. All right. So how I discovered you was, there was a post from Vogue magazine about, your collaboration with Trusadi, and I was like, wow, a black sister, you know, an African sister having a collaboration with such a huge Italian brand. Tell us about that collaboration.
But let's say that with Rusadi, we are having usually with big brand, they are like the collaboration is like, okay, I'm giving you the money, you are sold, and we are helping you, we are supporting you. This collaboration, I kind of like it because it was a build on a win-win perspective. Let's say that we obviously we provide them for the CV and everything. They give mentorship to our designers or to our creatives. Their door are open for the open factories. We are working. Actually, I was one of the how do you call? I don't want to call myself teacher, but I was there to do the training with the CCU
Like an instructor?
the manager and the CEO about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we create a lot of workspace where we can confront our idea, we can discuss what we have in mind, and we can see how we can, let's say, contribute to create a more diverse and inclusive, let's say, society. So it is on both levels, the economic one, but also the social one, because we try to put the human at the center, and we really try to work on the diversity and the inclusion within the system.
Amazing, amazing. So do you will there be, designers from your community working at Trusadi, probably producing, capsule collections that, are Afrocentric but still reflect the Trusadi brand? Is that in the works?
Let's say that the scenario can happen. Let's say that our collaboration is not, let's say, luck in a one way. We daily, let's say, upset what we can do together. Do you know what I mean? We are discussing a lot of projects that you are going to discover in the
So
future.
it's ongoing,
ongoing
conversation. Amazing.
Exactly.
All right. So what about your collaboration with Apple? I mean, you actually sat beside the great Tim Cook. How was that experience? That was amazing.
It was great actually. It was great because I wasn't alone there. I brought with me three of my children. I call them like that. Let's say yes, I consider them like my children. Like I said that. Like as well as with Apple too, because I'm kind of difficult and I'm kind of, let's say, choosy with the collaboration because I don't want to be the of the situation. We in that situation are working within the person, right? And most of the time, sometimes I question you because you are the trend of the moment. They just want to be part of that, right? So when I receive, let's say, demands of collaboration and everything, I tend to consider some elements from the beginning. With Apple, it happens too. And the head of the program here in Milan, Sarah, I agree. She's good actually. She also approached me like, okay, we are doing this like the Apple Creative Studios in all of the world, in all the cities, but in Milan this happened. And I read a lot about the association. I will kind of like to, let's say, sit and think of how we can make this happen. And it started like, okay, we can do this and that. It was also a really sharing and confronting ideas and everything. We put that together. We put the program and we started that, let's say, together. We actually offer to support 36 participants within the people, and we get them the opportunity to have a 4-week program at the Apple Creative Studios where they have to share their availabilities and they have to meet, let's say, the mentors within the society, the system that they weren't able to have that opportunity, that chance. Right? And also the fact that it was the first time ever in Italy that we can have a room so diverse. Like everyone who was entering the room in that moment was either emotional, either shocked, like people were crying. I'm talking also about with mentors. I don't want to say their name because they're famous, they are well known on the social media and everything. They were all like, oh my God, how is this possible? Is it possible to have this kind of people in Italy? So also with them, it is another collaboration. We also in 2023, project that we're going to do now. So I kind of like this kind of collaboration where we have ongoing things, right? Where we can adjust, we can take off, we can add more, and we can see how to manage and balance to really create something within the society.
Amazing, amazing. Right. So I know that you just don't, your work in fashion is not just restricted to Italy. You also do some amazing work in your home country of Cameroon. Can you tell us about the work that you do there?
Oh, let's say that in Cameroon, we are working. We are not, actually, we are not only in Cameroon. I'm going to give you an exclusive. We are also now in Ghana, in Rwanda.
Amazing.
And in Ghana, in Rwanda, and we are opening also in 2 other countries that we are going to announce again in 2023. Wow.
So you have Ghana and Rwanda.
Exactly. Now we are in Ghana and in Rwanda. Actually, it depends of every country.
Rwanda or Uganda?
Rwanda. Rwanda.
All right.
So we actually adapt, let's say, our action based on the social context, right? In Cameroon, for example, we work a lot with women We work
Mm.
on empowerment. We also work on capacity buildings. We work on supporting them and giving them the tools to enter, let's say, the professional fields. And we actually have a collaboration with another, let's say, cooperative there, which is working
Mm.
with women from that went in jails, and when they came out the jail, they are sometime at home, and the risk that they go back to jail is super high, right? So we
Yeah.
work with them, we help them, and we support them. Uh, Obtaining or gaining a second chance. The cooperative is actually called Second Chance. So with them, we
Mm.
work on the, um, let's say, recycling. They are,
Okay.
they are doing some bags and some, let's say, accessories, and we help
Mm.
them enter the market, and we help them find some buyers. They can be present here in Italy, for example. We have them in some showrooms in several towns here and also in Cameroon. So
Mm.
this is actually, we also work with university.
Okay.
Actually, we are in the Cameroon at Labadwala, the first
Okay.
and the only academy of fine art in all the Central Africa. And
Wow.
we are managing, let's say, the Department of Fashion Design there.
Amazing. Amazing. So, okay, so this is not amongst the questions I sent to you. This is kind of like a diversion. So, African fashion is doing well, in terms of the whole world is kind of like looking to us for inspiration and all of that. But, as an insider, I know that one of the biggest problems that we have is education. And when you can't get fashion education right, of course, the products will have issues. So I'm thinking, now that you are in not just Cameroon, you are in Rwanda, you are in Ghana, and you are already working, with a university in Douala in Cameroon. Have you thought of actually, either setting up, standard fashion institutions or collaborating with institutions in Milan to actually set up standard institutions in these countries where you're based? Is this something that you're looking at?
Actually, it's something that we are already doing because we are
Wow.
collaborating a lot with university here in Milan, but
Okay.
not only in Milan, also in Rome. We are
Okay.
trying to do something like, I'm more about, let's say, dialogue. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So we
Okay.
organize sometime workshop between students of the university here in Milan and students of the university there in Cameroon. As I was telling you, it is sad to say, but the university in Cameroon is the only one in all the Central Africa. So there we have
Mm.
students from Chad, from Gabon, from Guinea, like all the Central Africa, we have the students coming there
Mm.
because after the high school, they don't have the opportunity, let's say, to go at the university, right? So
Mm.
we kind of create a link between the two to give them a more the opportunity to have a more global vision of what, let's say, fashion is actually. And
Yeah.
we also give the chance and the opportunity to the students or the university here in Milan to actually see what is really African fashion when we think about African fashion. Because you were saying that the world is looking at us, we are
Mm.
all the inspiration and everything. It is not just today. It is something that it's been going on for years and years and years and years,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And it is just now that the world are starting to acknowledge that the inspiration is really coming from there. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? For example,
Yeah.
we are talking about we now it's like all about sustainability. And
Yeah.
someone is also actually thinking of, oh, we have to go and teach sustainability in Africa. And I
Mm.
am sometimes I'm inside, I'm laughing, I'm like, sustainability is part of our DNA.
Yeah,
Like
we also already
sustainability was
sustainable.
born in Africa. Do you know what I mean? Everything is
Yeah.
sustainable there. We have the
Yeah.
handmade, the tradition, everything. Like
Yeah.
who can really teach about sustainability is African fashion. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, the if we don't tell our own story, people will continue to tell it and tell us how to feel about our fashion. So what I'm
Mm.
trying to do with the university is actually let them know what is really happening in each context to give
Mm.
them the tools to really understand, as I was telling you, what, let's say, the Italian fashion can be or
Mm.
the African fashion can be.
Amazing, amazing. And I also feel that, those students in that university in Cameroon can also be empowered with the kind of skill and technology that their counterparts in Milan, and in Italy are also empowered with. All right, so where do you see the Afro Fashion Association in the next 5 years? I know that you're already establishing, branches in different parts of Africa. Where do you see your organization in the next 5 years?
I'm the kind of person who likes to, let's say, to think one step forward. Okay, I will
Yeah.
tell you. Oh my God, I'm seeing Afro fashion being, let's say, in all the countries in Africa in 5 years. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's what I would really love to be, but I'm also realistic. I know how things are going. I know that
mm,
we need times. I don't know where we will be in 5 years because every
mm,
step is always a question of times, a question of struggles, a question of, let's say, many things coming out. Do you know what I mean? So in
yeah.
5 years, actually, if I want, if I have to be sincere, I will tell you, I don't really know where we will be. Maybe we will
Mm,
be all over Africa. Maybe we will
mm,
just have closed some of the Afro fashion that we open in some country. Who
mm,
knows? Do you know what I mean? I don't know
yeah.
where or how we will be in 5 years actually. But my wish and my goals is to be actually more present in the African
Continent.
continent.
Yeah, because we do need people like you. I know you've already answered this question, but it still begs to be answered again. What do you think of African fashion, and what are the things that you're doing? Because we haven't even scratched the surface of what African fashion could be. What are the things that you're doing, to improve, the state of African fashion? What do you think of African fashion in the first place?
I'm sorry, someone was speaking and I didn't get the question.
Okay, so what do you think of African fashion? And what are the things that, you're doing to improve the state of African fashion?
I think African fashion. I think African fashion is something huge because when we think about African fashion, we are talking about 54 countries, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And
yeah.
54 different cultures. So it is rich African culture, African
Mm,
fashion. It is like
mm,
super fast. I don't think that there is someone who can understand actually what African fashion is, right? We can understand maybe per region because we have some element in common and everything.
mm,
But
mm,
I think that the where the fashion started, it is in Africa. Then after
mm,
that, we can have too many, let's say, point of view about how it evolves. Do you know what I mean?
mm, mm,
Africa, the thing that I love in the African fashion, it is the sustainability part.
yeah.
And the fact that the sustainability there is not something that was think or that was there just to be, let's say, a trend, commercial, or it
It
is
is
something
who
that
we
is
are.
yes, it is. It is who we are, and that is
Mm,
what I love about the African fashion. I think there is a lot to do. I think we are not exploiting very well our economic potential in fashion.
mm,
We are more about the folkloristic part. This is
mm,
something that I'm a little bit. It pains my heart. Actually,
mm,
we need
mm,
to embrace like also the our let's say economic potential
mm,
in
mm,
fashion in Africa. We
mm,
also usually tend to think that we need to be um, the same that the European fashion or the other fashion to be accepted. We also need to
mm.
express our creativity. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I
And
mean,
be
you
proud
can't
of
sell sands to the Arabs. We have to,
exactly.
take pride in our uniqueness, in our Africanness.
Exactly. And it is only like that I think we will have the respect also.
Mm.
Otherwise, we will just be, let's say, I don't know how I don't know the exact word in English,
Copycats.
but yes, exactly.
Mm.
I think we are missing the proudness and we are not a lot aware of the
Mm.
power of the economic power that we can have if we
Mm.
embrace our uniqueness of creativity in the fashion. That doesn't mean that we don't have to follow the rules within the fashion system. You know what I mean? Because there are certain rules that if you want to sell, you need to follow. But we need to embrace our uniqueness, our creativity, and be proud of that and sell that creativity instead of trying to copy other creativity.
Yeah, yeah. To be proud, of our Africanness and sell that to the world. Francine,
Exactly.
it's been amazing, having you here. I've been wanting to talk to you for forever. Hopefully we'll be able to, collaborate soon. We need more people like you on the continent. We need your children, to come with you to Africa and, spread the gospel. They need to share their knowledge, because
Actually,
I
we're
don't think
already
it's like,
doing that. We are doing that with my children. For example, in Ghana, one of my designers is the president of the association there. You know what I mean? He was working here in Milan with me, and then he decided to go and found his company in Ghana, and everything is going super good with him. And then he was like,
wow.
"Oh, Michelle," because they usually call me boss, and it was like, "Oh, boss, what do you think about opening an Afro fashion here? Because I think there is a lot of things to do." So we went there, we study, let's say, a little bit the context and everything, and we are working on a specific team there. In Rwanda too, she was here with me, and so on and so forth. And also, all of them usually, I'm trying to bring them inside the workshop that I'm organizing also with the emerging designer in Africa or with the university so that they can, let's say, share also their knowledge with their origin. I think it's super important to be connected with your origin.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the work you're doing is amazing. And, I wish you all the best. I look forward to meeting you in person very soon, so
Absolutely.
that we can, share ideas and collaborate because this is a platform for, Nigerian fashion creatives. We have a couple of Africans, we have some Ghanaians, we have somebody from Senegal who I think I need to connect you with her. Her name is
So,
Muskeba Toure. She's from Senegal originally, but she studied in Milan, and she is super super talented.
absolutely,
Super
yes, please do
talented.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been wonderful. I don't know if Veronica has questions for Francine, and if any other person has any questions, they can always put it in the chat in the messages. Francine, thank you so much for
Thank you.
honoring this interview. I hope you can come back again soon. This
Absolutely.
time around, maybe you'll come to Nigeria and set up Afro Fashion in Nigeria. That would be amazing.
Absolutely, yes. Why not? But let me tell you one thing. I think that in Nigeria, we are already having the Lagos Fashion Week, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we only have Lagos Fashion Week, with Omoyemi Akerele, who is doing amazing work with her Style House Files organization. But just one person can't do it all. We need
Mm-hmm.
more hands.
Mm-hmm.
We need more hands.
Absolutely, yes. I'm
Yeah,
100% okay with what you're saying.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for
It's
having
it's, it's
me
been
and
wonderful
for
having you.
again.
Yeah. So we'll continue to talk later.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a nice
Yeah. So
evening.
let me let you go now.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Thank
right
you.
then.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.